This is Allah's ordinance to you. Unlawful for you are all women besides those. Isn't saying all women besides those redundant? But hey, it's, quote, clear signs handed down, unquote, true? No, it's not. What? You agree that it's not clear signs? It's clear to me. It's clear for me. Because if it isn't, hellfire awaits you, true? So you have to say it's, quote, clear signs handed down, true? Anyway, when it says in the Quran, clear signs, most of the time it talks about all signs that God created. Are you sure? The sun and moon are signs. But they don't, quote, run to a resting place, as far as I can tell. And the sun doesn't set in murky springs or ask permission to rise because it's the earth that's rotating. So how can that be clear to you? Rain and its reviving agriculture is a clear sign from God, etc. But I'm talking about clear signs that the Quran calls itself, not a clear sign that it's going to rain. Provided that you seek them with your property, taking them in marriage, not committing fornication. Right. No sex, unless they are dead, or married slave women, or if you haven't, quote, married, unquote, them before you, quote, married, unquote, them. Are you sure it's not sex? Not committing fornication doesn't mean not having sex with your spouse. It simply means not committing adultery. It's simple and clear, yet you are blind. No, I got that. It's against adultery. As the first part of Quran 4:24 says, except when it's with married slave women who aren't the slave girls in 4:25, because there is no mention of those Muslims believing slave girls in Quran 4:25 being married. Then as to those whom you profit, give them their dowries as appointed, and there is no blame on you about what you mutually agree after what is appointed. That sounds nice. Surely Allah is knowing wise. I think so. He sure is. And you have to say that or it's the fire for you, true? Quran 4:25, Yusuf Ali. If any of you have not the means wherewith to wed free believing women, right? Not married slave women, but Muslim slave women, right? Read the section you are commenting on. I just did. What's there not to understand there? You clearly proved to me that you don't read. And you are showing me more and more that you are clearly ignoring the fact that there is no period after, quote, forbidden to you are married women, unquote. Just a comma, and the word, quote, except, unquote. You just assume that you read without even reading. You know something? You want to know something? I'll make a video of this and see if I'm the only one who is supposed to be blind here, okay? It is saying, if you cannot marry, it is saying, if you cannot marry free believing women, right? First, believing could mean Muslims, or anyone who believes in one God that is not pagans. Second of all, it's talking about free women, so where you get the slave from? I'm not talking about these women. I'm not talking about these women at all. All this is, to me, is your attempt to divert from Quran 4:24, where married slave women are fine to have sex with. I mean, quote, marry, unquote, with. Wait till you get to the second section. Okay. They may wed the believing girls from among those whom your right hands possess. If you can, quote, marry, unquote, have sex with married slave women, well, this seems like a huge understatement. Of course you can marry these women. Now it's talking about slaves. Right. However, you confirm to me that you don't know how to read, and you simply assume things. And you are confirming to me that you are trying to get attention focused on Quran 4:25 to divert away from something mighty evil sounding in Quran 4:24. Read again the first. What does really says? What does really says when this, what does really says about the slaves? What does it call them? Women or girls? You read quote girls unquote. Yet you translate it in your head women unquote. Quote women unquote. So it should be having sex, I mean quote marriage unquote, with girls and not women? I don't see how this makes it any better. As a matter of fact, it seems to greatly do the opposite. How can it not? I read again and think. It says, quote, believing girls, unquote. This should be another confirmation to what I've been trying to explain to you, that the slaves mentioned are not married. Didn't Muhammad marry a 6-year-old? Muslims say at the time it was common to marry so young, and aren't 6-year-olds, girls? But you are stubborn, and you insisted they were women. Right. And now you are saying they are married slave girls. I don't see how this makes it any better. Here you have the confirmation, since it calls them quote girls unquote, which is other words means unmarried or virgins. And being that there is no period after quote forbidden to you are married women, but an except unquote, this makes it far more disturbing, don't you think? Therefore, I'm hoping that with my last communication with you, when I translated in this more simple way, the verse in English, and my many attempts to explain it, and now with this verse that clearly says quote girls unquote, you can realize that it doesn't say married slaves. I would believe you if there was a period after quote forbidden to you are married slave women unquote. Instead, again, it goes right into quote except what your right hand possess. And you are saying that that means quote married with slave girls, not women, just girls, slave girls. Well, first, I don't see that. I see what so many Quran say is quote except for the one that has it as quote except either disbelieving husbands who are at war with you. And Allah hath full knowledge about your faith. How? Does Allah read your thoughts? That means Allah can dwell in your brain, true? Allah created us and He has anything. Even becoming a man in the form of Jesus Christ? No. How come not that? He knows what is in your hearts and thoughts. He is God. Do you doubt God's capacity? No.